Hey everyone! We are officially 1 week away from Ali Edwards' Week in the Life documenting days, which are June 20th to 26th. So I thought I would share a quick flip through of my Week in the Life 2021 album and kind of go over the things that I thought I would want to keep for this year and some of the things that I want to do differently. And also I'll be going through what I've prepared in my 2022 album so far and kind of talk about what my processes are going to be for this album. So for 2021, I was originally going to do my album in a life crafted album. And so that's why my pages are a bit narrower. These are about 5 inches wide instead of the usual, 5.5 inches, instead of the usual 7 inches that I would do in a 6x8 album. And I figured after a couple of days of working in this album that I thought it wouldn't fit in a life crafted album anymore. So that's why I purchased another album for this. And by the time I went back and looked at what albums were in stock, when I was looking to upgrade my album size, only the one with the page dividers was left in stock. So I thought I would just get the travel album from last year because this kind of green matches the greens in the Week in the Life collection from last year. So I picked out this album and it goes perfectly, I think, with the color scheme of the Week in the Life 2021 collection. So I'm going to be keeping this in this album, and this year I'm going to be working in the full size, so the 7 inches wide for outside the page protector. So for this album, I started off with this clear transparency. I always start out with one of these transparencies for my albums, just so that if there's anything like ink or anything like that on this page, it doesn't rub off on the front cover. So I just have a clear transparency. And I have also attached one of the printables that came, I think, in the Week in the Life prep day from last year, as well as one of the die cut pieces from the digital main kit. And on the back, I've included one of the circles that I had printed out as well from the digital kit, and a bit of ribbon to give a bit of extra dimension. And then I've just stamped the dates there with my roller date stamp. This one is from Heidi Swap, and it only goes up until 2021. So I'm going to have to find another roller date stamp to use this year. And just to note that last year, the documenting days were from May 10th to May 16th, but I chose to start my album on a Sunday because usually my weeks run, like I think of my weeks running from Sunday to Saturday, and that will change this year, and I will talk about the reason why in a bit. So next I have this vellum piece that I've printed out this week overlay. I think this was also from the prep day, if I'm not mistaken. And then I have this photo collage that I've created with some diamond-shaped photos. And I do have a process video on how to do this if you don't have Photoshop as well. I usually use Microsoft Word for all of my digital scrapbooking, so you can make sure to check that out as well if you like. And I also have, I was inspired by these diamond-shaped, I think they were originally chipboard pieces in the main kit, but I just printed out the digital copies on some paper and used these as a collage on my first 2 pages. And these are pretty much some kind of extra photos that didn't quite make it into my whole album. I just really like how those turned out. So each of these days follows kind of the same formula. I have a little circle here that I punched out of some colored cardstock. These are all from Basil, and I just got those from my local scrapbooking store, just trying to match the colors with the colors of the main kit. And I have dividers for each day going through to Saturday, and I did recolor some of the elements in the main kit to match with the rainbow color. So I made sure like everything I was using for Sunday was red, and then orange for Monday, yellow for Tuesday, light green for Wednesday, this darker green for Thursday, and this teal color for Friday, and a lighter blue for Saturday. And I will be following a rainbow order in my 2022 album as well. I just love having everything color coordinated together. And it did take me a bit of time to digitally change these colors on the digital files, but I don't really mind as much. And I do have a process video showing how I changed the colors as well. So for each of these pages, I made a little tri-fold flip out, so it goes out both ways. So for this first part, I just included one of the diamond-shaped patterns here, and then just typed out the date and included that before I printed it out. And for the front, I have usually a full page photo of like a background or something like that. So this was just on one of our walks outside. And then I've included this template that I colored in. This was from the 6x8 templates and overlays, I believe. And I've just colored that in the coordinating color for each day. And for each day, I focused on a specific lens. So those lenses were prompted by these circle die cut pieces. So for example, for Sunday, I did the lens of loved this part. So I chose 4 things that I loved about the day, typed up a bit of journaling about that, and then included these little swivel up tabs with the die cut pieces so that I could house some journaling as well as my photo. So I really like having the interactive element here, but these brads added way too much bulk to my pages, and that's why I think my photo album took up so much bulk. And so I'll definitely be trying to include interactive elements in this year's album, but I probably won't be including so many dimensional things like these brads. I did a bit of stitching as well, just in some color coordinated twine, and I really like how that turned out. And this part here is an enlargement of one of the die cut embellishments that came in the main kit. And I just made a little transparency pocket to house these additional things in. So some screenshots that I took of some comments on my YouTube channel that I thought were really sweet. And then each day I included a screenshot of my Fitbit as well for that day. And on some days I included other things like news articles and things like that. And I think I will continue to do that for this year as well. And so on the back part, I have a whole bunch of photos that I took during the day. And these are not in any sort of lens at all. They're just kind of random photos that I took during the day. And each of these also has a brad so that I can swivel up the journaling card to reveal some journaling. And again, I did color match this with the rest of the kit as well. So I'm just going through some of the journaling cards here. I really like being able to take photos from different perspectives. So this one, I had sat down on the floor to take this picture of all of these delivery boxes that I've collected in my recycle bin for my crafty supplies, as well as photos of myself. So this one here, I had set my phone up on a tripod, and I have probably in this hand a little Bluetooth remote so that I could click that and then it would take a picture of me. Some snacks that I had, as well as this photo here that was kind of a photo of our office and crafting room. And my crafting room has changed since then, so it'll be interesting to compare that. So this folds up like so. For Monday, this was a photo that I took outside of the hospital. So we were really busy during the pandemic. So we had some people hang up these encouragement little pendants on our trees, which I thought was so sweet. And then on the inside, For this day, I was focusing on home life. So all of these prompts are documenting home life. So my boyfriend working from home, having a quiet moment to myself. This one I had actually, and I talk about this in the podcast with Kristen from Crafty Ass Female as well. I had opened up the cabinet doors in my kitchen and then set my phone on one of the higher shelves and then took this picture of myself cutting vegetables, which I thought was so cool. And working out at home, which was kind of a fail. I think I worked out for a couple of days and then stopped. So some documenting about that. A screenshot that I took that day, and then I took another screenshot. This was me winning one of the challenges from International Scrapbook Day on Paige Evans' Facebook page, so I really wanted to include that in. And then in terms of stories, I had a work day that day, and it's always a bit hard to take photos of myself during work, but I did manage to get a couple in, which was quite nice, I thought. And just a combination of some photos of myself, and some photos of other things too. Tuesday was another work day. I was working in the evening, so it was quiet enough that day that I could get this shot of our workstations without anyone sitting there, which was nice. I don't really ask for permission from anyone to take photos of them because I am a bit shy about my scrapbooking at work. So it was nice being able to take a picture in my work environment still. And then the prompt for this day was this part was hard. So just talking about lots of things that were hard that day. Finding creative ways to take work photos. Yeah, that was definitely one of the harder parts of the day. And some of these photos aren't perfect, you know, like that one has some parts cut off, but it still relays the story, and I don't mind that too much. And then in terms of other little bits here, I have my Fitbit screenshot of watching the COVID news update on YouTube, and some more COVID news. Definitely lots of COVID in this album. And I just backed everything on some cardstock that was the same color, like just some leftovers that I had. And it just kind of made things a bit more sturdy to pull in and out of that pocket as well. And in terms of my other documenting, just documenting about dishes, about taking off my contaminated clothing after work, and things like that. This one I kind of did a his and hers for tea, which I really liked doing. And this one was talking about Kevin getting his new brewing equipment. Wednesday was another day at work, so here I took a picture of our parking lot, and it was a really nice day out that day. And the prompt for this day was evidence of life. So I picked out a whole bunch of things that I thought represented evidence of life. So throwing out the trash, of course. Having lots of work in the workday. And these memes on the wall of our dispensary at the pharmacy. And for our screenshots that day, I had this order number pickup for McDonald's. We went to McDonald's that day, which was really fun. Fitbit again. Some news articles from our local newspaper. I talked about this in the podcast as well, but I pretty much subscribed to the newspaper, like the local newspaper, just for the 1 month during Week in the Life, and then I canceled after that. But it was really fun to be able to include some relevant news updates, and I think having access to the Front Pages app is really handy for that as well. I'll definitely be doing some of that this year too. So some photos here. And it was interesting being able to document, because Kevin was working at home, all these pictures of him, which I won't be able to do this year because he's working in the office now. But I am hoping that he might be able to participate by maybe taking a couple of photos during the week and maybe writing me like a currently list or something like that. I still have to talk to him about that and make sure he's on board with that. During this day, I was really, really excited about the Pokemon cards that came in the Happy Meal from McDonald's, and especially getting the shiny Charmander card. Charmander is my favorite Pokemon, so that was very exciting to get. Thursday, more work photos. This is just a photo of my workstation, shot from up above. And then the prompt for this day was work life. So it's kind of nice to be able to have just one day where I'm kind of like, it's like mandatory that I take photos at work, because like of the nature of my job, I don't want to be taking photos all the time at work. So this just kind of helps with that and offloads some of the pressure that I have in taking all the photos all the time. This one, I took a picture of one of the tubes that I had taken out of the tube station by setting my phone inside the tube station. So I thought that was kind of cool. And the time that I got off work that day, we were having a late day that day. And because I was working evenings that day, I had a couple of evening shots as well, which I thought was kind of nice. Just a variety of different photos throughout the week. And for my journaling, I included kind of like a combination of both facts and feelings on each of these journaling cards, which I think I will continue to do this year as well. Friday, just coming home, I took this really cool photo of just the parking lot that I'm, so we live like that way. But it was nice just to get the sky, I thought, especially with the blues, that really matched. And the prompt for this day is on repeat. So just a couple of screenshots, conversations with friends, and another news article there. And some of the things that I had on repeat during that day. During the podcast episode that will be released today on the Crafty Ass Females, Steph Grimes was also talking about taking photos that aren't necessarily for that day, but then including on the prompt for that day. I don't know if I'll do that. I think I'll probably try to you know, like all of the photos for this prompt were taken on the Friday. But she was just saying that it might be nice to, instead of being pressured to take all of the photos on the day, maybe include photos from different days as well for those specific prompts. So we'll see how my week goes and if I do follow my own rule of making sure that I take all the photos on the same day that I'm documenting them or not. Another his and hers here, talking about our bedside tables. So I did just take the photo of my boyfriend's bedside table, but I did talk about my bedside table in the journaling as well. And last but not least, we have Saturday, and this one I had some of my favorite photos from that week taken that day. So this photo of these flowers on the tree, which I guess in June this year there might be different flowers to take pictures of. Doing some more baking. And some shopping. And the prompt for this was weekend goodness, which I specifically left for the weekend because we were going up to Edmonton and I knew we were going to be doing lots of exciting things that day. And here are the journaling cards for this day. And this was when I went to the local scrapbooking store to color match some of the cardstocks as well. This was the first time that I went shopping for brewing supplies with Kevin, and that was really interesting to see as well. And the last picture that I have is just a picture of us in the car. I had put the phone on the dash and then used like a wide angle to get this shot, and I really like, that's one of my favorite photos of this week, and I'm really happy that I managed to finish this project. Ideally, I think I would have liked to do like an ending page with some final thoughts, but I just didn't have enough space in this album to include any more things, so I thought that was how I would wrap that up. So now that we're done that flip through, I just thought I'd show what I have so far in this 2022 album. I picked out the yellow album, haven't put a label on it yet. But this year I am going to have to do Monday through to Sunday instead of a Sunday start like I would prefer, because I'm going to be using these frames from the mini kit as my dividers. And because these ones are going from Monday to Sunday, going this way, I thought like it would be weird if I had Sunday first and it was at the bottom and then I had Monday. So I'm going to reluctantly do a Monday start with this album. So the formula that I have so far is that I have the these are the transparency page dividers, and these came in a 10x8 size, but I did trim them down to a 7-inch wide size so that they would fit in this album. And for the first page of each day, I'm going to, so first of all, I am going to do multiple pages per day as opposed to last year where I did kind of like a trifold. And I think that will kind of reduce on the bulk a bit, because then you don't have the extra folded edge that I usually use to make my interactive pages. So the title page is going to be left until the end of, like, when I finish making my album, then I'll make the title page. But the first page of each day is going to be the transparency, and I'm going to stick this photo frame here on the edge so that this little tab sticks out on the side, and there will be all these little tabs with the different days of the week. And I'll have a 4x6 photo in here. I've also printed out these pleather day of the week embellishments from the main kit, and I modified the colors so that they would match going rainbow order. So I have dark pink for Monday, I have orange for Tuesday, yellow for Wednesday, green for Thursday, blue for Friday, gray for Saturday, and then pink for Sunday. And for each of these are printed at 2 inches wide by 3 inches tall. I'm probably going to layer that there and then maybe include like a 3x4 photo behind here to give it a bit of a layered effect like that. And then for the back side of that, I was thinking about putting this stitched heart pocket. Now, I made these myself from the digitals. So what I did was I took the digital into Canva and colored the whole thing the same color. So I got rid of the where it says Monday or Tuesday or the days of the week. And instead I put this stamp from the, I think it's called the Basic Prompts stamp set. Or no, this might have been from the Day in the Life stamp set. I'll leave a link down in the description box below. And the actual stamp says gratitude for this day, but I covered it with the pocket so that it only shows gratitude. And my thought is to put those gold foiled heart pieces from the main kit into this pocket and just have a couple every day for what I'm grateful for each day. Now, I don't have the main kit, so I'll probably have to do the foiling on either my printer and just foil it with a laminator, or I can foil it on my Brother Scan and Cut machine with my We Are Memory Keepers foil quill. But that will probably go on the back of this page, in addition to maybe a couple of journaling cards, depending on how much of the front page is showing through, because I don't usually like things showing through too much on the back sides of transparencies. And then, oops, I have these page protectors in place so that I can keep everything together, but I'm probably not going to use page protectors for the actual days. So for each day, I've picked out 2 prompts that I'm going to be focusing on as my lens for the day. So one of them is the large transparency piece. So for Monday, for example, it's loving. And for this canvas strip that was from the mini kit, for Monday, it's going to be learning. And again, all of these are pink and they coordinate nicely. So my thought is to have 1 page each for each of these prompts. So this could be like the front of the page, and then this could be the back of that page maybe. And I'm thinking of, for this one, maybe just stapling it onto some vellum and then having it flip up, and then having some photos of things that I love, as well as some journaling. So for my photos, I'm thinking of having some circle-shaped photos just kind of collaged all over the page with some of these digital stamps. This one is called Week in the Life 2022, Circle Days of the Week. So I might do that, or I might do something with this block here. This one is called Story Stamp Set. So either or, I might do some circles and stamp those around the circles, just kind of resize them to make them fit the page, or I might do something with that stamp set. Haven't completely decided yet. And then I was thinking about doing kind of the same thing as the journaling cards and photos from last year, but instead of having brads, because the brads did take up a lot of space, I would have the photo maybe flip up and reveal the journaling card below. And for the journaling cards, I'm thinking of using the 4x4 cards from the main kit and just recoloring them. I think they say facts and feelings, like facts on one side and then it's divided, and then feelings on the other side. And I'll probably just have it flipped up and modify it so that the colors are coordinating. And then, yeah, I'll have a page with learning, and I might do kind of like a mind map sort of thing with that. Haven't completely decided yet. But that's about it in terms of what I want to do each day. It was kind of hard to decide how I wanted to lay out my pages because last year there were a lot of shapes that I could work with, like the diamond shapes and the circle shapes. And this year there aren't as many embellishments like that, so I just found it a bit hard to think of ways to make cohesive looking pages. But I figured once I have my photos, I might be a bit more inspired to play around with that a bit. So just going through here, I have Tuesday, and Tuesday's prompts are, actually, I think maybe we'll show my planning lists. So these are the planning sheets that came from Ali Edwards' blog, and she did post these up last year. And I'll leave a link in the description box below as well to these. And these are free to download as well, so that you can use them too. So basically I printed out 4 per page, and I have the kind of timeline sheet on the left side, and then this other sheet on the right side. So I did cross out 2 of these boxes. I think this one says observations and this one says favorite moment. And then I just included the 2 prompts that I've chosen based on the plastic word and the word strip. So for Monday, my prompts are loving and learning. For Tuesday, they are celebrating and playing. For Wednesday, they are work life and growing. And then for Thursday, they are around the house and reading. For Friday, they are watching and eating. Saturday's prompts are documenting and listening. And then Sunday's prompts are real life right now and loving. And I noticed that I did have loving twice, but I really don't mind that. One is for Monday and one is for Sunday. There's lots of things that I love, so that'll be easy to fill up, I think. So that's about it for what I have planned so far. Usually I don't plan a whole lot in advance, so this is kind of like how much I had planned last year too. And I think once I have the photos, then I can start working on this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know as well if you are participating in this adventure as well. Thanks so much for watching.